Hey everybody. If you're seeing this, it means that I didn't make it out there with you. Right now, I'm probably helping my wife recover from birthing another hippopotamus of a son. But I'd give anything to be out there with you. I mean, I'd downright punch a baby in the face. Don't call CPS just yet. Wouldn't punch my own baby, but I'd uppercut somebody else's baby. Given the fact that Dave and Jen are out there with their entire litter, I'd say for now, babies are safe because no babies left in California. Now, Lodi Flo and I been knowing each other for 32 of our 38 years on this earth. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, hasn't always been top shelf whiskeys and beautiful brides for he and I. Let me take you back to a time when we thought nothing of the inner workings of the global economy, or pondered the deep mysteries of the universe, or even more perplexing yet, attempted the navigation of the female gender. Back to a time when he and I found an unlikely friendship tethered around the strategically located snack shack formerly known as Graham's house. Now, being as it was, I was a Caucasian wannabe VHB homie living in the slums of Vista, and Lawrence was a noodly white privileged Fruit Loop basking in the sunsets from his hilltop perch. But we found common ground, giggling, as we drew wieners in the textbooks of Beaumont Elementary for future generations to enjoy. We found common ground bombing Pookie Blade down the steepest driveway in all of Vista, ungodly fast, on the brink of death. Found common ground beating Sarah to a pulp in our gladiator-style pillow fights in the TV room. Or panhandling thousands of dollars from Graham as Lawrence, time and time again, continued to mop the floor with me playing Mortal Kombat Round Table Pizza. I recall a time where Lawrence and I were riding our bikes through mud and an old man decided to stop and lecture he and I. This old man had a poor little doggy. I think it was a Shih Tzu or a poodle. We'll just call it a shit poo. This old man stopped to lecture Lawrence and I, and this poor little shit poo saw an unlikely opportunity and began to rain down a golden shower all over this old man's shoe. Old man looked down, saw what was taking place, carried on with his lecture. Now, I'm sure this old man had infinite wisdom to bestow upon Lawrence and I. But that day, we really only learned one thing. Now, listen carefully. It's very important. When your shit poo needs to pee-pee or doo-doo, let it do what it needs to when it needs to so it doesn't pee-pee on a dude's shoe. Soak it up. Moving on to the skateboarding years. You know, Lawrence and I did, said, and saw things that could very well lead to indictment. So I think we'll probably just skip that. Puberty. The transition from adolescence to manhood was quite a leap for most of us boys. Except for Blake. I think he came out of the womb a horny rabbit. For Lawrence in particular, he went from a flamboyant, sissy, la-la, bedwetting pansy to a lot of what you guys see there today. I guess in retrospect, not much of a leap after all. And let's be real. Dave was really the bedwetter. The roommate years were thick, boy, let me tell you. Lawrence was a magnificent display of crusty socks, dirty sheets, and the meanest bedhead in the West. He was getting up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning to hustle the trenches of Nayton. And most mornings his alarm would sound like a goddamn train horn in his face, and he would remain dead to the world until somebody got up and physically assaulted him to bring him to attention. But the likely reason for that, because the night prior, we probably crushed 15 to 20 MGDs apiece while dancing to Britney Spears with whatever flock of hens decided to perch that night. Some of these hens would get quite frustrated with Lawrence because he wouldn't share his cock-a-doodle-doo with anybody. Interestingly enough, Jackie and I would have conversations about whether or not Lawrence even liked girls. I think even back then, she was crushing. It got to a point where I was afraid. I was afraid I was going to have to break his heart. Or even worse yet, Lawrence would convert me. Because truth be told, I've never loved a man quite like I love Lawrence. He's not only my best friend, he's my brother. Which makes Jackie my sister. I don't think she's adopting the Walton name lightly. I think she knows, as well as I do, that the entire Walton clan are some of the most intelligent, driven, generous, and authentic people on this earth. And without them, I don't know where I'd be. Without the Waltons, I'd be condemned to a life of alcoholism. But with them, at least now, I have some of the best friends a human being can ask for. And alcoholism. Cheers to Lawrence and Jackie. Many years of prosperity, creating many more new memories. I love every last one of you. Cheers.